they're like lawyers, aren't they? They're bamboozling us with science and terminology. And I just read this in an article the other day. I'll just share it with you. Excuse me for 2 minutes. This is around why carbon management is going to make or break the supply chain. This was in an FMGC magazine. You might have read it. Well, if you understood it, you could tell me on the way out again because I'd understand it. Establish the full life cycle of a product and undertake a granular footprint analysis and determine ongoing data requirements for extension of measurements to the wider product range. In terms of carbon and supply chains management, the primary objective must be to generate a B2B cost saving up to the supply chain before and focus on the brand and product differentiations. This will ultimately optimise the efficiency of your supply chain and therefore generating a more powerful market differentiator for sales growth once consumer product footprints catches on more widely. Answers on a postcard, please, to Mike Remington at the front here. That would be really useful. I just found that's absolutely amazing. So we're trading carbon, £22 a tonne, I understand, at the moment. So if anybody wants to buy a tonne off me, I've got loads at our place. You can buy. Anyway. So moving on very quickly, last few minutes. So what's the way forward? Now, obviously, again, some of this is common sense. Caterers always need that ability to change quickly. I understand earlier that some people are concerned around perhaps some of the input from suppliers today. But for a lot of universities, their best option of getting investment, making things look fresh, increasing sales, because a lot of this is around trading out of this for some organisations, taking more money in the till, is in collaboration with those suppliers. And Sheffield Hallam University, I was looking at our figures on the train coming down, 19% of everything we sell is a fizzy drink. We don't just sell fizzy drinks, we sell lots of healthy options as well. But I think that kids coming out of school now that have been controlled, they get to university and it's, hey, I can spend my money on what I want, I've got money in my pocket, I'll go and have a pint at lunch if I want, and if I want a Coke, I'll have a Coke. I know we won't all agree with that, but that's how it is, I'm afraid. And removing that from the shelves will only reduce income. So we've gradually got to educate people and move them away from it and offer them alternatives that are available. But 19% of everything we sell is a fizzy drink, and we can't, we're trying to get away from it, but we're not there yet. We have to work very closely to get that investment, and the savings and the cost cuttings that's happening with the government will only mean a drop in capital. Being able to change our outlets to make ourselves effective is going to be difficult. If you think you've got an outlet that's up to date at the moment, by next year it'll be out of date. The market, the expectations of customers and what they want is changing all the time. What you need to go and do is look at America and what's happening there at the moment, because that's what's going to be happening here. And that's my excuse to go to Chicago next year if I can get it passed. But it's around looking what's coming and being able to change quickly. So by the 2 years, by the time you've got a business case through your organisation and you've actually got that in place, it's not old-fashioned. Because a student and a young person wants the latest phone, the latest trainers, the latest jeans, no matter what it costs, and the latest product in their hand when they're walking around. And it's our job to give it them. Ability to understand costs and control costs. That goes for every business. If you don't do that, you're going to go out of business, obviously. But it's going to get even harder moving forward. And that's why some of the private universities are being successful, because they've got their costs tied down. And I'm not just talking in catering, I'm talking around across academics, across research, and everything. Big challenge for everybody in the university sector. Service and products that students want and that are affordable. And this is another reason for collaborative procurement. We need to work together to push the prices down of the products that we're buying. Someone talked a couple of minutes ago around a few organisations working together. We've got universities working together, a cluster of universities in the Midlands, for instance, doing a fruit and veg tender. We've got other universities in Scotland working together on milk contracts. We work with the Sheffield University on a milk contract, and along with Sheffield City Council. Those collaborations are going to be key moving forward, so we can pass the saving on. Because if we don't, then when it comes down to our organisations asking for cost savings, instead of trading out of it, we are going to have to start rationalising and stopping doing things and taking services out, and I'm afraid taking staff out. And we've all got an obligation to try and protect our staff, obviously. Collaboration is going to be the key moving forward. TUCO is trying to expand its procurement. It's looking at the contracts that it's currently got and it's going to be looking to expand those and look how it can offer more choice and more range to the suppliers. As I said earlier, how it can use local suppliers as well. Students are and the public now are so savvy about food, they know what they want. If they want organic sausage, you've got to provide organic sausage. They don't want to pay for it, we know that. But that's what you're going to have to try and provide at a cost that meets their pocket. We're all faced with this challenge at the moment, and it's not going to get any easier moving forward. Thank you very much. I'll take any questions.
Right, thanks very much. It's Susanna McWilliam from Cardiff University.
You're not going to get strop here like before. We're not having any of that.
It's fine. I just wanted to pick up on the issue of collaborative purchasing and also maybe deflect back to Rosie, how this works for smaller producers and how someone at a local scale can make any kind of impact with collaborative, a move towards collaborative purchasing in the public sector.
I think there's two ways. The customer's got to demand more from the big suppliers, and I think some of the big suppliers have got to look to deliver more of these products through their vans without, as we mentioned earlier, screwing the farmer or the supplier down so much that they're not going to make anything on it, because that's not fair either. So asking the larger suppliers to provide them through their vans and through their lorries is going to be one area, but also through framework agreements where there are local alternatives. So, for instance, Cambridge and Oxford have quite specific needs for their requirements. They do a lot more fine dining and things like that, and they have quite a lot of local suppliers. And we've got to look at how we can provide contracts that don't just go on price, but go on service and local, and allow organisations to procure locally. That's nice and easy, thank you. All right. That's all right.
Jane Carlton-Smith from SESHI. I just wondered if you knew what proportion of universities are using contract caterers, food service suppliers, rather than in-house catering, because I guess that you're mainly concerned with in-house catering.
It's an interesting question, and I did an article for our new magazine. I'm just giving it a plug. It's out in December. And our website, I did an article yesterday, and we were trying to put the accurate figure in, and it is difficult to know exactly. Our estimation is it's less than 5% are fully outsourced. Several universities have got facility management in, where they're doing a review of the catering, but the staff have remained in-house. Another estimation was 25%, but it's certainly not that. And in the 4 years I've been chair and managing director, I think only 3 universities have actually outsourced in that time. So it's not a massive move towards being outsourced. I think it's a real threat, if that's what the word is, threat. What we're actually doing at Hallam is we're looking at where we can use outsourcing where it is better value for money, particularly in outlying buildings for cleaning and things like that, where it's not core business. With outsourced security, for instance, because it's a no-brainer overnight for night security with our costs. But in general, we're trying, TUCO is committed to trying to keep services in-house.
Yes. Well, that's interesting, because I've been working at Oxford Brookes, where you would probably say it's wholly outsourced, but of course the staff were two-peed over when it went out. You're benefiting from the purchasing power of the large contract caterer, but I can't necessarily see that there are any huge disadvantages to outsourcing.
Not while the current VAT not with the current VAT situation, because obviously if charities outsource, or education authorities, institutions buy services and they pay VAT, and that 17.5% is often the difference between it being affordable and not. If that changes, then I would see a big increase. The other way that it's been used by some institutions, and I think of Sunderland as an example, where the contract caterers come in and invested quite heavily in the catering infrastructure on a long contract, and that's driven the quality of the service and the quality of the outlets up. And that's another. A lot of universities, it would actually be a cost So if they did it at Hallam, for instance, it would actually cost the university money because the contract catering company straight away would take away the surplus, the bottom line surplus. And so it's not, in some instances, it's just not attractive.
Has TUCO got any plans for? Has TUCO got any plans for offering its services to other public sector subsectors?
Yeah, the way we've structured the organisation is we've got the main TUCO organisation, and then we've got a wholly owned subsidiary, and the 160 original members of TUCO own the wholly owned subsidiary, which is TUCO Purchasing. And TUCO Purchasing, the 130 members I mentioned, are made up of colleges, there's some local authorities in there, and other institutions, and we're looking to expand that. It's around trying to increase the spend, and we're getting a lot of interest. We've been talking to the House of Commons and other organisations like that that are interested in, because some of the prices that we offer are so good. So yes.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.